Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have some super exciting news today. I finally have got like an overhead filming setup, and so I'm gonna start doing a new series on my channel, all for crochet beginners, starting from the very basics to teach you how to crochet. So super excited about this. And I can't wait to get started. So we're actually just gonna get started today. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just go over with you the right types of yarn you wanna use and the hooks you wanna use whenever you first get started, because that is very important. Also, I want to mention the first thing I tell people when they want to learn to crochet is the hardest part of crochet is getting past the awkward stage of learning how to hold the hook and the yarn. In my opinion, that is the hardest, one of the hardest parts of learning crochet. I think that many people probably quit because they feel super awkward holding the hook and the yarn. But I promise you that if you can get past that initial awkward feeling, it will become natural to you. And it takes a little bit of time, but once it becomes natural to you, then you can pretty much learn to do anything. So also there are many different ways to hold the hook. I'm going to be going over that in my next video, but that is also a big important part of learning to crochet, is figuring out what is comfortable for you and how you hold your hook and yarn, and that takes a little bit of trial and error, I think. And so what works for me might not work for you, but we will get into that in the next video. So today is just going to be a really quick video just going over what I think is the best yarn to start crocheting with and the best hooks or hook sizes. So let's get started. So I would recommend, first of all, using a 5mm crochet hook, and I really love this one. This one is by Clover, and you can see some hooks. Let me find an example for you. I've got my little jar of hooks here. Okay, so there's really two different styles of the actual hook. So this is a Susan Bates hook. A lot of people love these, and I like them too. But it's not my favorite type of hook. So I'm going to show you. So here, if you can see, it's more of a pointed. If you can see that, more of a pointed hook. And I don't have many of this type. I wish I could show you like a bigger one. Oh wait, here's one. Okay. So you can see it's a little more pointed here. I find when I use this type of hook that it snags my yarn a little bit. I don't recommend starting with this type of hook. So I would recommend something like this, like by Clover, which you can see is more rounded here. And so in my opinion, I find it much easier, especially when you first start, because it's not going to snag the yarn very much. So let me show you a side by side of those. So you can just see the difference there. So like I said, this one's by Clover, and I'll link this hook for you. I can't remember how much these run, but I will definitely link that. But I would recommend starting with a size 5, because I find that it's an easy size to hold on to. And I mean, hooks range from tiny like this, which is a 3.5. I mean, they go even smaller than that, up to big hooks like this. I mean, even bigger. I mean, this one's a 9mm. So I find 5 is a good middle of the road size to start with, and a lot of projects use a 5mm. So it's a good one to get to start learning with. That's what I learned with, and most hats I find that are worked with like a 4-weight yarn are going to be worked with a 5mm. Most everything that is made with a 4-weight yarn, which is your standard worsted weight yarn, is going to be worked with the 5mm. And that is also something I want to mention. So there's many different types of yarn. There is anything from cotton to made out of chenille to acrylic, polyester. So many different types of yarn. I would recommend starting with a 100% acrylic yarn. I find that it's easy it glides across the hook, especially if you get a little bit of a softer one, and it's you get a lot for your money. So normally you can get a large skein about this size. I've used a little bit off this, but not much. So you can get something about this size, which roughly has around anywhere from like 250 to 300 yards. and you can get it for a reasonable price. So I think these are $3.49 at Michael's. This is the Craft Smart brand, and it's a good value. So you definitely don't want to go and spend a bunch of money when you first start learning. You definitely want to get a value yarn, and so most 100% acrylic yarns are very cost effective and good for, you get a lot for your money. And so I would definitely recommend this. Also, it's easy to work with. So I would definitely recommend the Craft Smart. A lot of people start with the Red Heart Super Saver, which is totally fine. You get a lot for your money. You can find those at pretty much anywhere, Walmart or whatever. But some of them, especially I find darker colors, can be a little bit rougher to work with and can kind of drag on the hook a little bit, so it's not as smooth. So I would recommend something like the Big Twist from Joann, the I Love This yarn from Hobby Lobby, or the Craft Smart yarn. I think all of those are a great option. And also I wanted to talk a little bit about color. So you don't want to start with something dark like black or brown or even a dark gray, in my opinion, because it's a little bit harder to see the stitches. And that's one of the trickier parts of crochet when you first start learning as well, is how to recognize the stitches and where to insert your hook. I would also not recommend going for a really super bright yarn like a bright yellow or a hot pink or like even a white. That's just my opinion. I feel it's a little bit hard to see the stitches. So I would recommend something like this, or like a light gray. You know, you want a lighter colored yarn that's not super bright, not like a neon. You don't want anything super colorful because that can make it a little difficult to see stitches when you're first starting. So definitely just, I would get something that is a little bit lighter, but not too light. And I will be going over, I'll do a specific video going more in depth on certain different types of yarn at a later time, but this video is just basically just to show you what I think is best to start out with. So again, 100% acrylic, something that is a solid color, that is not too light, not too dark, and a 5mm hook. I think that that will set you up for the best chance of success. You won't get as frustrated, and that's what I learned on, and it worked out great for me. And then once you learn, you know, learn a little bit, you can move on to more fun things. But anyway, I really hope that you all are going to enjoy this series, and I would really appreciate it so much if you could like this video and subscribe. Learning to crochet is one of the best things I've ever done. It has become such an amazing hobby for me. I enjoy to do it so much, and I just want to share the crochet love with you all and teach other people how to crochet. I also have some friends and family members that have asked me to teach them how to crochet, and so I thought this would be a good way to teach them as well. So, and then also for you all, so you all can look back, and I'll put these all in a playlist. And so, you know, any new crocheters can find these videos and learn the love of crochet as well. So thank you all so much for watching, and the next video I am going to teach you how to do a slip knot and a chain. So that is like your number one first thing you have to learn, apart from hook size and yarn, is how to do a slip knot and how to chain. So that'll be coming up in the next video, and I think I'm going to make these videos shorter. You know, I'm going to stick with just a couple things in each video, and we'll work our way up learning different stitches until we end up making a project together. So anyway, I really hope you all enjoyed this, and I can't wait to start this series. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while, and so I'm super excited to finally get an overhead filming set up, and I'm ready to do this. So I hope you guys will join me, and may God bless you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.